Down in the pot, I've got butter melted into olive oil in my soup pot. To this, I'm going to add the rest of my starting lineup. 1 crisp apple, peeled and chopped. 1 large or 2 medium onions, chopped. A couple of small cloves of garlic, chopped. Salt and pepper. This is all the building blocks for a soup that's going to star all of the orange in the produce department. Squash, sweet potatoes, and carrots, all combined. Now that I've got the starting lineup in, I'm going to add ginger. I'm going to grate in about 1 inch of ginger. Now, to balance the sweetness of the soup, I'm going to add some spice. Chipotle and adobo, smoked jalapeno peppers, and vinegar with spices. When I bring home the chipotle, I take it out of the can, I seed all of the peppers, and then I puree the adobo sauce and the seeded peppers, and then I put the rest in a plastic food storage bag and pop it into the freezer. The next time I need it, I simply break off how much of it I'm going to be using in this recipe. In this case, about 1.5 inches. I want about 2 to 3 tablespoons, depending on your tolerance for your heat level. So now that we've got all of that working, I'm ready to add my spices. About 1 teaspoon each of smoky ground cumin, nice bright coriander, sweet paprika, fat pinch of ground cinnamon, and a little nutmeg. Give this a stir, and we're gonna let these fellas sweat it out. So over here, I've got 1 pound of carrots, peeled and chopped. I've got 2 large sweet potatoes, and a buddy of mine told me that the most nutrient-rich thing, pound for pound, in the produce department is the good old sweet potato. And now I've got about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds of squash. This is a kabocha squash. Tastes a lot like sugar pumpkin. You could also substitute a sugar pumpkin, or a good old butternut squash is fine too. Scoop out the seeds. And chop them up. I love having a dinner like this, you know, just a big, beautiful bowl of soup. It just makes you feel good. So I'm only adding about 1 quart of chicken stock to our soup because, you know, you're gonna get a lot of liquids out of the squash as it cooks down. If it's too thick, when you puree it up, you can add a couple cups of water, a couple cups more stock. But start with 1 quart. And I'm just gonna add a drizzle of honey to balance out the heat of the chipotle and to highlight the sweetness of the squash and the potatoes and the carrots. Beautiful. Let this cook partially covered until everybody's nice and tender. Okay. Now, how thick or thin you go is really up to you. As I said, make sure you have a little extra stock on hand if you want to thin it out. I love a nice, thick, hearty soup. Now, to brighten everything up right before you serve, add a little shot of orange juice or lemon juice. I love orange with this soup. Now for an entree, you're gonna have 4 to 6 servings. For a starter, 8 to 10. Beautiful. A little chorizo, a little extra. I really like chorizo. Sprinkle around the pumpkin seeds. Man, oh man, I love this dish. I hope you do too.